Right. This video is not sarcastic, right? This is real talk. This is on why a white person will never be able to truly liberate you, meaning kill you. Right? Now what's liberation to begin with? When I say liberate the world, right, I don't mean a necessarily financially liberate this, that or the other in this context, in this video, right? In this video, when the final liberation in this video, no other video, right? Other videos I talk about other types of liberation, right? And this particular liberation, I'm talking about final liberation, right? Which is liberation from life on earth, right? And this is why whites, right? White people will never be able to liberate me, right? I had to be liberated, right, by the words, right? By the words of a black or brown person, right? I have to be liberated by the words, right? Even MK Ultra couldn't take me out, right? Electronic harassment couldn't take me out. Nanobot technology couldn't take me out, right? I had to be liberated by either Muslims, Bronx, blacks, right? That's why I say it, right? Asking people to come online and teach because that's the only way, right, that I could be liberated, right? And all you can't be liberated by whites either, right? Yeah, whites try to kill you, even if they physically kill you, you reincarnating, right? Whites can't kill all you, right? Even if dumb people try to kill all you, right? All you reincarnate. If you don't reincarnate and going from this life to the next life, you're reincarnating within the same body, right? That's how serious it is, right? As black and browns, right? Whites are really unable to kill you, right? So, and the fact that they did that damage in the past, right? For sure, right? They can be the ones to kill all it, right? It don't work like that, right? Once they see how that thing happened in the past, right, and they never make amends for it, right? Now that's why all they keep reincarnating, 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 right? Until all reincarnate now, right? And they have no choice but to examine themselves now, right? They have no choice but to hands off for these people, hands off for everybody, right? And they had to rock back now and examine themselves and examine the past and examine the present and examine where I'm going in the future, right? That's how the situation working, right? That's the thing. Um, so this is why, right? Even if certain people try to take me out and thing of life, right? Whole 4 years now, people trying to run me off the road because and not because of them, but because of forces in the background, voices of which I hear, right? So it's not even the people who driving, right? But the forces behind that, right? 4 years now, right, and more people trying to just run me off the road, get me into serious accident, all kind of thing, right? And it ain't happen yet, right? Take me out through suicide, through all kind of means, right? It ain't happen yet, right? But I know that I going to die one day, right? But but it will never be was sin by the hands of a white. It will never be by the hands of a white person. That's why I'm saying, right? So they could try the best, right? White people are unable to liberate me, right? The only liberation that they could, this is why I'm telling you, the only liberation that they're able to do for people is financial liberation, right? That's the only way. Other than that, we still alive, we still here. All of that happened, right? The whole war going on, right? And we still here, right? They couldn't even do it with my father. I had to be, he had to choose me to do it, right? So that whole war take place, right? And we still here. I still here, right? So that's to tell you, right? How weak, right? They don't know how to fight wars, right? You see, when you're fighting wars based on unrighteousness, right, you would never win. You cannot you call to fight a righteous war. You can't be sending electromagnetic forces using direct energy weapons, right? You can't be using MK Ultra technologies, right? That is not how you just fight wars. Me ain't touch a person yet. Me ain't do nothing to a person violent yet in the course of these years, right? I still here, right? I ain't eat meat in the past since I called to fight this righteous war. Right? I ain't eat meat, right? I ain't do nothing to nobody, right? I still here, right? And look, anybody could just take me out. Look, I who am I outside? Anybody, right? Anybody in a snap of a finger. Hey, anybody could just take me out, right? Meaning eliminate me from the world now, boy, right? And all of that going on. All of these things I saying online, right? And I still here, right? I still here. All of that I see online and I still here, right? And I don't even want to be immortal, right? I don't even want to be immortal, right? So I don't understand what it is preventing Ollie from doing the least and the only thing that Ollie could do, right? To liberate people, just which is financial liberation, which is repatriation, right? Because you don't can't liberate people from Earth, right? The least you could do, right, as a British monarchy, right, and the like, right, and people who running them, right, the least all they could do, right, is to financially, materially liberate people so that they, hey, even if we trapped here on earth for the period of time that we trapped there and all they're trying to keep we trapped there, at least keep us happy here, right? Keep us happy here, right? Give us the compensation that is due, right? Give us the compensation that is due, right? Give us the compensation that is due, that is owed, owed, right? Give the compensation that is owed, right? That's the least you could do, right? Whilst we're on earth, keeping all your company, because we are the ones keeping all your company. We are the ones keeping white's company, right? It's always who are the lesson to learn. We are the ones keeping you all company on the stinking earth, right? We are the ones keeping you all company, right? And joining, right, this journey with you all, right? Trying to mentally free all you. We are the ones trying to mentally free all you, right? So, hey, listen, do the necessary, right? And get and free all your mentals, right? Because here what? The more all you try to trap us, right, into some state of religion, some way of being, some this, some that, right? All of that thing gonna backfire, right? All you gonna be playing a spot now. Oh, so wait, so all this time is she we worshiping me? Right? Is all this time so wait, so we had to worship she? So all this time is she we worshiping me? Right? All you gonna remain in that consciousness if you don't evolve. If you don't say, hey, I actually hey, let me just do what I had to do. Hey, the Quran said the recompense is to occur. And the Quran said the recompense is to occur and it have no beyond that. It have no spiritual beyond that. It have nobody coming to walk the earth beyond that because that is his message. Read the book, right? That is he message. That is the message of all the messengers. Past, present, right? It might not have a future because it might stop here, but that is the message of all the past, right? All the people who sing about repatriation, all the people who fight for that, right? All the people is culminating with me, right? All the people who fight for this, right? That is the message, right? Read the book, read the Quran, right? And the book said the recompense is to occur, right? So it have no going beyond that now, right? Because that is a way that you are chosen, right? To repatriate. That is a way you are chosen to liberate, right? So hey, different people God assigned, right? A different role. God is assigned different rules to different ones of us. Hey, you are the angel of death. One, you're an assistant to the angel of death, right? You are another assistant to the angel of death. Hey, no, you're chosen for life. Hey, you're chosen to repatriate people, to compensate people for past misdeeds, right? You're chosen for this. That's how Allah works. Allah will choose you, grant you a role, right? And that is why people need to not be jealous of other people's roles, envious, right? No, I don't like envy because I never even believe or like I always say, I never believe, right, that one person should be envious of another person because I never think that that is a reality now. I don't exist in that reality. I never exist. I just watch somebody, I got admire them, I can say, hey, wait, she real good to do this way. Like I wish I could have do that. Like I simple like not wish as an a yeah, envy and wish, but like a person to what hey, I wish I could have do something so good. Right? I wish I could have produced something like that. Right? That's how I just think. Hey, she real good to do this boy, or he real good to do this boy. Right? I like this real talented, this real talent. Right? That's how I just think when I see somebody do something, produce something, right? So that is so same thing with a baby and thing like that. How I could think it's not like it's not that I ever jealous anybody. I doesn't have a jealous bone in my body. I just be like way way boy way I wish I could have a little picnic like that, but like that now. That is how I just think. I don't be like envying and brooding over and this and that. Like that on me, right? I just say I pass on to what that is, right? Um, but anyhow, this is why even in the spiritual realm, right? Allah is one against envying people, envying people. Hey, so if I have a rule, right, you shouldn't be envying my rule, right? You should be helping me to fulfill my rule, right? And I should be helping you to fulfill your role. That's how we're supposed to function in the spiritual domain, right? I'm supposed to be helping you, right, to fulfill your role, which I'm doing, right? And you should be helping me to fulfill my role. So we cooperate, right? We cooperate. I helping you, right? Because in the end, right, I liberating you and you liberating me, right? But just we liberating each other in a different way, right? I liberating you, you liberating me, but we have a different role in the liberation process, right? That's what we all doing, right? That's how we all function. Now each of us supposed to be supporting each other, right? In that endeavor, right? Because we all here to liberate people, right? Although my form of liberation might be different from your role assigned to liberate, right? So this is the whole idea about this, right? And right, all right, just to clear up all kind of manipulation, twist, all kind of thing in this story, because in this reality, right? Because that people try to literally take people out like that, right? Before they could actually fulfill the rule. Hey, I need to actually, hey, if God assigned you a rule, right? If God assigned me a rule, remember God is the most all powerful, right? All powerful entity. Now, if God assigned me a rule, I need to ensure that our role is fulfilled in order to leave Earth. You can't take me out of Earth before that assignment is complete. That's what people need to realize, right? Hey, you can't get me, you can't run me off the road, right? Before I fulfill something that I came here to fulfill, right? You can't come in and rob me, right? Or you can't come in and kill me in my house, in this house, right? Before I complete whatever I have to complete, right? I have to fulfill certain steps in life, right? Life is a graduating, it's like climbing up a stairs, right? Understand this, life is climbing up a stairs, right? You can't jump from the first stair to the 100th stairs like that. Life don't work that like that. It is graduate. Hey, it's like it's a baby like it's like a baby climbing up. You climb and a baby don't jump from one and skip two step and jump and go, right? You're a baby, you have to climb the stairs, you have to creep. You're going one step from the other, one step to the other, one step to the other, right? So your car energies out there, right? Universal forces, whatever, right? Car want to run me up the road and kill me, right? In one go, right? When it have a particular thing God assigned for me to do, and unless I fulfill that task, I can't leave Earth. I can't be liberated from Earth. I have to say, hey, I have to fulfill this rule, right? Because that the rule God assigned for me, right? I had to fulfill that, right? Because that the calling that I get called towards. Now I had to fulfill that, right? And I had to perform fulfill certain requirements. People, let's call it tests. I like to see life more as an experience rather than tests, right? People say, hey, you're being tested, right? I feel like every time you look at life as everything being a test, it kind of come like a feel like a burden, right? But I understand that certain tests, certain things are actually tests. But what's in is when you look to see everything in life, right, as a test, right, every little thing, right? Because some things, like I might go through a bad experience, right? But hey, if I choose to see it as an experience rather than a test, right? Now, some things, like I was saying, oh, your parents, hey, sometimes when they're telling you and talking shit on them, right? You could see that as a test, right? To make it easier for you to go through life, right? But like certain things, otherwise, negative experience whereby you pass through, right? Sometimes I choose to look at that as, hey, um, I'm experiencing something new, right? And that and all make it that and all might make it simpler for you to pass through. Hey, well, I never encountered this experience before. There's something new. Maybe I should look into it, right? And that's how I end up reading the Quran, right? That's how I end up teaching the Quran to, hey, I'm experiencing something new, right? Let me look into this, to see what I could find, right? Let me look into this information. Let me look into this knowledge, right? So, so we're here to support each other, right? Not to be envious of each other, right? Everybody on earth, right? So you know, if you know God bless me, right, with a particular role that I supposed to fulfill, right? You're not supposed to be jealous of that. If I know it, for example, if I know God bless you with the ability to give birth, right? I'm not supposed to be jealous of that, right? Even if I am not chosen to give birth, but God bless you with the ability, right? I am not supposed to say, hey, I'm not supposed to like be eating up myself inside because I want your life, right? I don't move like that, right? The most I would do is say, hey, well she blessed, so she fortunate. I don't like the word lucky, but hey, she really have a skill in this, or she really good to do this, right? That's the most I would say, right? So there's a lesson on envy now because I don't even like the word, right? I don't even like the word. I don't like thinking about it, nothing, right? But that's how I used to feel, and that's how I used to feel towards like them girls and my my female counterparts, my female friends, and from UE, my master as well, right? I'll be like, hey, well, I like this, I admire this, right? I admire she for this, I admire she for that. So that's how we operate, like in that zone, right? It's not nothing like jealousy, jealous this, jealous that, right? So if God bless you, right, or they bless somebody, right, with the ability to make a baby or procreate, right? Ain't nobody supposed to be envious of that, right? If God bless you with the ability to speak, right, or to write, or to do something, right, ain't nobody supposed to be envious of that, right? Because the reality is that everybody has some kind of talent, right, hidden or concealed or unknown, right? Something you could do that another person can do, right? Everybody everybody have within them something, right? Whether it is perceived as good or bad, right? You have something inside of you that God placed inside of you that I can do, and I have something in me placed inside of me that you can do, right? And that is how we're supposed to function and help each other cooperate, right? Because all are we here for some other thing, some different thing, right? So there's just that message, right? So yeah, well, I started off with this video with it's really it ended up being a video on comparison and not comparing yourself to other. You see, everything is boiled back down to this book, right? It ended up being a message on not comparing yourself to others, right? Which is one of the greatest Quranic message, right? That's one of the greatest Quranic message, right? But I started off saying that whites can't kill blacks, really, right? And brown, right? They're unable to do it, right? Because that's not your rule. That's not your rule. That's not what God assigned you to do in this time, man. Right? That's not the purpose God assigned for you. For MK Ultra, all them thing. Like God ain't assigned you to kill me. Right? God assigned you, right, to help me, help you, to help your people repatriate. Right? That's how they're going. Right? So have a good day, everybody.